What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Wednesday, December 29th. What we know is that in 8 days the Senate will be back in Washington, and some are expecting they're going to have some results, but we will see. Today in this video we're going to talk about a guaranteed income program and how many states are potentially going to be bringing these back for the upcoming year in 2022. I'm going to give you a little bit of a stimulus update. We're going to talk about how there's more help for schools coming very soon, and we also have problems with at-home COVID tests. So I will address all that in today's video. If you have questions on anything, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But here's what we know. In just 8 days, the Senate will be back into Washington, but some are expecting they're going to have new ideas regarding the Build Back Better Act and how this is going to finally get passed. I anticipate these are just going to be ideas. We haven't gotten any word lately regarding or even heard of any new reports that negotiations have been going on. Here's the problem. This makes me wonder if they've actually done anything to help out the American people. Right now, a lot of people are struggling. Businesses are closing, not permanently, but temporarily, as many people are coming down with COVID. They're testing positive. So if restaurants and retail stores and just overall businesses cannot keep their business together and employees are contracting the virus too quickly, what's going to happen is they're going to shut down temporarily. It's creating a lot of problems, and the American people need more help. We're also seeing that we are running short on some of our COVID funds. This is the expectation that we could run out of funds over the next few months. But we will address that once we get there, because what we know is Congress is not going to address something that is a few months out. They usually wait until the final week. So we'll see what happens there. But the good news is, for some people in certain states and certain cities, there are guaranteed income programs. And I want to talk about this for a second, because over the past year, we have seen many guaranteed income programs get started. Since 2018, and this is a report from Bloomberg, since 2018, more than 20 pilot programs have popped up throughout the United States. Some are providing, $300 per month. Some go up to $1,000 per month per family, which is big. And more than 5,000 families are getting help right now. But here's what experts are actually saying. Experts anticipate 2022 will be another monumental year for more guaranteed income programs, which is great for people that are struggling, for lower income households. But experts also predict that this is going to help narrow the inequality and it will reduce poverty, but this is only going to increase the needs of these programs, which let me just remind you, many states, many cities have millions of dollars, some even billions of dollars in excess and surplus funds that they can use for these guaranteed income pilot programs. So many experts are saying they are anticipating a lot of cities and states are going to use these funds in order to help those that are currently struggling. So this is good news. If you are lower income, you are struggling right now, we could potentially see more of these guaranteed income programs pop up over the next year. So we'll see what happens there. But experts are also saying that Democrats believe that guaranteed income programs should be everywhere. They've tried to push for universal basic income for years, and we've pretty much went away from that narrative, and it's went from universal basic income to guaranteed income programs. Again, it's the same thing, same principle, but according to reports, the reason why Democrats are pushing for the additional year of the child tax credit payments is because many feel that we're still a couple years, 2 to 3 years out from providing more guaranteed income programs throughout the United States. And these guaranteed income programs would most likely benefit everybody, not just families with children. They'd benefit, seniors, lower income households, people out of college, right, that are still getting started. don't yet have a career or a path and are needing a little bit extra money. Over the past few weeks, we've heard so many reports from people that have student loans, where the average loan payment per month is about $400 per month. And $400 per month for somebody that's, let's say, lower or average income, maybe they only make $1,600 or let's say $3,000 per month. Well, $400 per month is a pretty good chunk of change. For many people, that will be a big portion of a payment for a mortgage. That could be a car payment, right? That could put food on the table for the entire month for many people. So that's creating more issues, and that's why some Democrats are saying this has to be done. Guaranteed income programs need to fill the void. They need to fill the void, but in order to fill the void, then we have to fill the gap now, which means providing that child tax credit for at least 1 to 2 more years. So we'll see what happens there. But according to many employment experts, they say that guaranteed income programs could be on the rise very soon because more people are out of work. But the thought process behind this is not because people aren't working, so let's provide them with more money. The thought process is, as we start to evolve, right, we're getting more innovative with how we run a business. Whether it's, let's say, in a factory, where if you look at any of Amazon's warehouses, they don't have people driving around a forklift. Yes, they do in some cases, but inside the factory on the floor, the majority of them are robots picking up the entire cart, swiveling around, moving it, back and forth. That's what they're doing. So in many cases, they're saying we're so innovative, our technology is up and coming. So because of that, we are actually putting these people out of work. So while we innovate, while we adapt and grow, which is going to be great in the future, we need to provide something for those people that are now being left out of work. So it's not talking about let's provide more unemployment benefits. It's talking about let's provide guaranteed income. Guaranteed income to these people so that they can get back on their feet, they can change their career path, and then move on to something new. So that's what the discussions are as of this morning. But again, they're always changing. So as they do, I promise I will fill you in on the news and updates as we get it. But let's get into the education news. If you remember yesterday, and I talked about this, I believe it was yesterday afternoon, I talked about how Governor of Michigan, Governor Whitmer out of Michigan, she enacted legislation to allow school staff to fill in as a substitute teacher. Now, this is going to be very, very good to have something like this right now as children come back into school after their holiday break. But there's also another move out of New Jersey to help the rapid fall in qualified teachers. Because in New Jersey, the Department of Education, they're actually creating a 5-year pilot program to offer a limited certificate of eligibility to prospective teachers. Now, this is going to help fill vacancies in schools and fill in where there's staff shortages. But this is more of a longer term plan. But the goal with this, the goal is to fill the gap now before teacher shortages become too great over the coming years. Because what we're seeing right now, you may not know this yet, but what we're seeing is a lot of teachers are retiring early. They're moving on to different careers. They're getting away from the teacher student aspect, because for a lot of teachers, for a lot of school personnel, it's becoming too much to deal with parents when you have to tell your kid or the kid to put on a mask. Oh, you coughed, you got to go home, right? We're seeing a lot of staff at schools are just becoming frustrated, overwhelmed with having to be the police with or act like the police with COVID and coughs and the flu or masks or whatever, right? Vaccines now got a lot of issues. So some are saying that we need to fill the gap today, because if we don't, we're going to see major issues years down the road. Which, if you haven't seen this already, a lot of businesses, They went from providing billions and billions of dollars every single year to research and development, to new product creation, to marketing, to hiring on new people. Well, that all stopped in 2020. A lot of businesses said, no, we're not hiring any more people. We're stopping our research and development, so no more R&D. We're not going to do that. We are going to go and switch from researching what we were doing, developing new products. Let's go create masks. Let's go create something to help us through this pandemic. And that was great. We got through part of the pandemic, but the problem now is we're seeing major supply chain shortages. We're seeing major issues, right? A lot of products haven't been developed completely. So many businesses are now struggling with cash. They got all this money from the payment protection plan, or the paycheck protection plan, right? PPP loans. And now the problem is that they are either going to have to refinance. They're going to have to, get more money coming in some way, right? So there's a lot of issues happening there, but it's because they put off, hiring, research and development, and building their business for about a year, a little over a year. Well, that's what these schools don't want. Schools say we cannot afford to not hire teachers, not train teachers over the next year or so, and then a lot of teachers decide, you know what, I'm leaving, and we have a major shortage. So that's the reason why some of these school districts and some of these education departments are trying to change the laws a little bit, change things up to make sure that we do not have shortages in the coming year. So if you have any questions on that, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But let's get into some COVID news for today. The United States now has a 7-day average of 266,430 COVID cases. This is the highest that we've seen. Last January, we got up to 253,000 as a 7-day average. Okay? And experts are anticipating we are only going to go up from here. But according to many reports, they say we are seeing that we could potentially see a slight dip. That some people are taking this I don't just want to say some, many people are taking this more seriously than before. That Omicron is more serious. It's very infectious. So because of this, more people, even those that are not vaccinated, are still taking this seriously, which is good. So we'll see what happens there. We do know, according to the FDA, the rapid at-home COVID tests are even worse at detecting Omicron than they were Delta. Data actually shows that the rapid antigen tests appear to be less sensitive against Omicron compared to the PCR test. They say these are more profound with Omicron. So they suggest, this also suggests that the rapid antigen tests still do work, so you can still use them, but just keep in mind, sometimes you're going to get a false negative. You will be positive, but it's going to say negative. So if you are going to take a rapid COVID test, they say make sure you take more than just one. A lot of these have 2 sticks in the box. Take the 2, not the same day. Take one day, take the next day. This should give you a very good indication whether you are positive or not. But this also brings up the question. As soon as I read this morning, I thought, well, that's great. So now we have to ensure that we have more than one test. Well, what if the first day test comes back negative, second day test comes back negative, but what if we're still positive? Because I've seen a lot of reports, and I know people have done this. The first test is negative, second test is negative, third test positive. Positive, and they have symptoms. So what we are now wondering is, when President Biden and the Biden administration finally send out these at-home rapid COVID tests, are we going to get more than one test? Or will it just be one test? Because as of right now, we don't know. We have no idea. But if the FDA is saying, these might not work as great as we thought, is this really the best course of action to send out tests that don't really work? I don't know. We also know that the CDC chair, she says that they hope to have a decision on the COVID boosters for 12 to 15-year-olds very soon. And she says that they could be anywhere from days to potentially weeks out. She also stated that the vaccine for children under 5 years old will likely not come out for multiple months. So, parents with children, parents with toddlers, you are going to have to wait and be patient, and just according to the CDC, just protect yourself, and this will ultimately protect your children. So what the CDC is pretty much saying, and many health experts have been saying as well, is make sure you get the vaccine, make sure you are testing, frequently, make sure you are social distancing, and if you do all that stuff and wash your hands, you will protect your child, because hopefully you do not have COVID. So that's what we're hearing at this time. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll be back on to share all the latest news and updates. One thing I just want to say is I really appreciate you guys. I really want to thank you for always providing some questions and comments down in the comment section. I always use those comments and questions to create the next video. So again, thank you for always doing that. Thank you for always hitting that like button. It really does help out the channel. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.